What's going on, fellow travel enthusiasts? Today, I'm going to present to you some very helpful and useful information. Some of this information will be obvious, but most of it isn't. So here we go. These are the top 10 things you must consider when it comes to traveling anywhere, whether it's domestically, internationally, by car, by train, even whether you're walking, lodging, all that good stuff. So here we go. All right, so the first item is obvious. Just the thought of traveling somewhere, whether it's you thinking about it, whether it's your employer thinking about it, whether it's your family members that are thinking about it. Just that thought of you having to be someplace other than your house or your location or what you're used to, that is number one on the list. Because without that, you're obviously not going to travel because that's just not on the forefront of your mind. All right, the second item on this list is obviously to schedule out a block of time for your travels. Whether it's you wanting to travel, whether it's your employer or somebody else that requires you to travel someplace else, you can't travel and be at home at the same time. So you really have to schedule a block of time from, let's say it's Thursday to Tuesday, to go travel somewhere. All right, the third item on this list, it's factor in the time of travel. So let's say you have an extended weekend, Friday to Monday, Labor Day weekend, you want to go fly somewhere. You're not going to go from New York to Sydney. That flight alone takes like 18 hours, plus a time change. So by the time you land, you're going to have to turn right back around. I mean, unless that's your plan, that's just not something anybody wants to do. So factoring the time of travel to go someplace and enjoy that place is something very, very important. The fourth item on this list is means of travel. You going by train, bus, airline ticket? You want to walk there? You want to take your bike there? Your car? Maybe you want to hitchhike. I mean, you have so many options. You have to factor that in, So whether it's you going to pay for it, you're going to pay for it with cash, miles, points, whatever. Maybe your employer pays for it. Maybe you're a sugar daddy or a sugar mama or cougar.
Damn!
That's your own business, but maybe they pay for it, or you're just going to walk there. Maybe, maybe you're going to go with your girlfriend and she's going to drive you down to Atlantic City or something like that. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, you have to factor in means of travel. All right, with the fifth item on this list, it's similar to the fourth, but it pertains to lodging. Maybe you're going to go to your cousin's house. Maybe you're going to go to your grandma and grandpa's house in Chile. Maybe you're going to go see a friend in Paris or something like that. Whatever the case may be, you have to factor in some kind of lodging. Maybe your employer is requiring you to go to Miami on a business trip. They'll probably arrange the lodging for you. Unless you're going to go to Miami for like winter music conference and rather sleep on a bench or at the beach. I did that once a while back. That's something that I took into consideration as part of my lodging. All right, number 6 on this list is food. How are you going to eat when you're there? I mean, unless you're going to be fasting or something like that, that's also your plan when it comes to consuming either food or water. Somehow you got to eat, or you are taking into consideration that you're just not going to eat for whatever the case may be. But food is definitely an essential, especially water. Maybe you're going to go visit grandma and grandpa and they're going to feed you.
Let me fix you some sandwiches.
Maybe you're going on a business trip and the company pays for all your food expenses. Maybe you're going to go out party with the boys and all you want to do is drink that weekend, not even eat, which, I could say I've done that before, Ibiza, but whatever. Food, whether you eat or don't eat, is something that has to be planned when you're traveling somewhere. All right, I had to re-record this one. The 7th item on the list is means of transportation. Okay, anyway, a friend of mine once tried to walk from the Las Vegas airport down to the Strip. He didn't think this one through. It took him about an hour.
Man, it is hot out here.
So if you're traveling somewhere, you better factor in how you're going to get from the airport or from your port of entry or wherever you're coming into to your destination. Furthermore, you also have to consider how you're going to be getting around when you're at your destination. So getting from an airport or point of entry to your actual final destination, what are you going to do when you're there? You're probably not just going to sit and stare at a wall at your hotel. You're probably going to want to either walk around, take a taxi, Uber, or call your cousin to pick you up and go out into the mountainside. Whatever your activities are for that trip, you have to factor in your mobility. Item number 8 is activities and the why you're traveling. Just like number one, just the thought of traveling somewhere, which is obviously a necessity into when you want to plan travel, you also have to figure out why you're going. And, maybe you're going because you want to go sightseeing. Maybe your job wants you to go for a business trip. Maybe you're going, like I keep saying, to see your family or your cousins, because you're definitely not going to go and just go stare at a wall unless it was like the Berlin Wall or something, which is already gone, or the Great Wall of China for that matter. I mean, does the public even have access to that? That's neither here nor there. And you're definitely not going to go travel and then just come right back with no purpose at all. Number 9 on this list speaks for itself. And it's an obvious one that we just don't even consider until it's like you just don't have it. And this item is travel documents. Whether you're traveling internationally, you need a passport, right? Whether you're traveling domestically, you probably need your driver's license. Whether you want to go to a country that's kind of restricted, you're going to need a visa. Back in 2020, you kind of needed some kind of travel certificate to get to certain countries. So yeah, number 9, definitely have your travel documents in order because that's going to come in handy. And finally, last but not least, this one isn't really much of a requirement, but definitely recommended, and that is a contingency plan. What would happen if your documents got lost or stolen while you're abroad? What happens if you get robbed, your passport, somebody steals your cell phone? I had something similar like this happen to me in Berlin a few years ago. I thought it was a good idea to stay at a hostel. And what happens? All my stuff gets stolen. I was lucky enough that I had my passport and my cell phone under my pillow, but nonetheless, everything else was gone. I filed a police report, but that only caused more problems as now every time I went through Frankfurt or through Berlin back to the United States, I would get those 4 S's, which was additional screening. And coming back into the country, having my passport, but them seeing a police document of things being stolen, I was heavily scrutinized and questioned as to what this whole situation was about. So yeah, definitely have a contingency plan in order before you go travel. And the easiest thing you could do is take a picture of your passport or make a photocopy of your passport and have something like that as a backup just in case certain documents get stolen. All right, everybody. So this concludes this video of the top 10 items you need to consider when it comes to traveling someplace. I really hope you enjoyed it. Definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about these kind of topics. And once again, subscribe to the channel because there's going to be a lot more valuable information like this coming out to you guys. So take care and see you guys on the next one.